Hi everyone, welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. So today we're gonna do my homework like I said we were gonna do, and I hope that y'all like it. Um, so let's get started. I wanted to talk about some things first. Um, I wanted to talk about that I made some progress. I hope that the hiring managers have been watching my um, videos, and I apologize about giving y'all a sour video because I have been putting my LinkedIn profile on there, and come to find out, if you have, I apologize. Like for instance, what I've been talking about hasn't been usually what I've been talking about, but it's been a lot of things on my mind, and I rarely and really don't have many people to talk to about it. So, yeah, but I tell you this, what I'm about. I'm a leader at the most. I don't go around gossiping. Um, if it's about me and if it's affecting me, if it's affecting the job stay the job business. The job business stay the job business. If it's affecting me, like in my household, then I'll talk about it. So that is never going to happen. Me talk about my work life. My work life and my personal life is two different things. And like I said, I'm a leader. I am a transformational leader. Um, I like to motivate people to lead. I like to engage with them to see what they like, a two-way conversation. Um, I like to make sure that, you know, whatever the case may be, that we go on a tangent talking about what their goals and aspirations are so that I can try to motivate them to make those goals happen while they're doing the work that they need to do to make those goals and aspirations happen while at work. I'm a transformational leader. Like I said, I'm also a transactional leader. I I have to turn this off. I'm a transactional leader also. I sit up there, and if you do the right things during the course of the time spent, you know, uh, if you do the right things during the course of the time spent working, then you get rewarded. If you do the if you don't do the work and you lollygag and you pretend like you don't know what you're doing and you waste the work job ethic, you don't have ethics. You just waste time and waste the money of the job by getting paid to do absolutely nothing. Then you get punished. So that's why I'm different. I use both leadership skills and um, I use both leadership skills. And I think that that's the best way to be, is to use both leadership skills, intertwine them. So yeah. And like I said before, I apologize. I'm not perfect. I don't have perfect rent. You know how that girl wrote Drake, tattoo Drake? I don't have a tattoo that says perfect across my forehead. I don't have a tattoo that says perfect. But what I do is have a heart filled with gold and motivation filled with abundance. I want to help a lot of people succeed. That's why I had Blue Cloud Cleaning. And 4 more minutes. And I I had it, and I did the best I could with it. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. I did the best I could. You know, it takes two players in that game, two players to play in that game, because you have to have a witness. You come in that game alone without a player, you still get railroaded. You'll get railroaded. You come in that game with a player, you won't get railroaded like that, because there's a witness. And there's a possibility that you might get sued if you sit up there and say or do the wrong thing as a manager. Some people abuse transactional leadership, and some people just don't want to hire you because they're a Democrat and you're a Republican. Who knows? We'll see how this works out. We'll see. But I'm not prejudiced. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not I work together in a bipartisan way. Always say that. And I have no need for games. I rarely take offense if somebody's a Democrat. I I just I really I'm a holistic type person. I'm a homegrown medicine type person. I'm a homegrown type person. So, yep. And like I said, one more time, less than 30 seconds or less than 40. I apologize. I hope that y'all understand that right now, it's tough for me. I'm finding out a lot of information, and a lot of stuff is rubbing off on me. Um, and I hope you guys forgive me for me telling my business like that. I tried to delete as much as I could. Okay. But we're going to move on to the good stuff. The good stuff is I am going to do my homework. I'm going to do my homework and let's get started. Okay? So, emotional intelligence. It's funny that they talk about this. I have no idea what this means. Emotional intelligence. So we have emotional intelligence. Let's go ahead and have y'all connected. Let's see. Okay. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is an ability to accurately perceive your own and other. Let me put my glasses on. And others' emotions, to access and understand emotions and to manage them. That's true. As a form of social intelligence, EQ can help us manage our relationships. People with higher levels of emotional intelligence are more sensitive to others. Hold up. More sensitive to others and enjoy better relationships, including stronger working relationships with others. Emotional intelligence capabilities are many times more likely than cognitive intelligence skills, IQ, to influence success. One of the main areas where EQ has been studied is in its effects on leadership and the relationship between leaders and followers. There are five main categories of emotional intelligence, divided into two that deals with self-management and three that deals with the management of relationship with others. It is possible to be strong in some but weak in others. Focus on self-management, self-awareness. Give me a second, y'all. Self-awareness includes understanding your strengths, weaknesses, needs, motivations, and emotions as they happen and how they affect others around you. People who are strong in this component might be self-confident in decision making, realistic about their capabilities, and have the modest sense of humor about them. Self-regulation includes the ability to manage one's mood, and impulses and think before taking action. Someone strong in self-regulation might be trustworthy, steady, tolerant, ambiguity, and open to change. Focused on management in relationships, emotional intelligence. Motivation includes using self-motivation. I can explain those. So self-awareness, basically, you understand your strengths and weaknesses, your needs, your motivations and emotion, how as they happen and how they affect others around you. Like what I said earlier today, my strengths were I was talking, that was my strength, but my weakness was what I was talking about. I was confident in what I was talking about, but what I was talking about was inappropriate for those to be aware of and know about. Like, I still haven't told y'all where I'm moving to, you know. It's okay, I would never say that. Um, but it still was inappropriate. I mean, I did it, the strength part, I did it in order to have it filmed. I wanted to have it filmed as notation for me. The weakness was now that I'm reaching out to people for applications about jobs, it doesn't look good on my end talking about that type of stuff. It makes me look bad. The needs is the need to get it out there on camera, which I deleted it. It's okay, I deleted it, but it's already been shown to some of the employers. I know it has. The motivations is that I want a job. The emotions are a little saddened by how I performed that video and stuff. The decision making should have been thought over a little harder. The decision should have been thought over a little harder. Self-regulation. To change one's mood and impulses. To think before talking. I'm definitely the type to think before talking. But when I get on here, I want action. I want some type of action. And sometimes I like a little drama, a little bit, to get the crowd to listen to what about me. You know, my impulses weren't good today because they caused me to act the wrong way. And my mood was happy. Even though I didn't look happy, I was happy. Um, I was talking about, the next door neighbor, and I think that we could have saved that for the actual landlord and not even brought it up at all on camera, seeing as though I am in the middle of trying to get a job. So I should have thought about that, before I talk. And while I was talking, I was thinking about it, but it was too late. I was just continuing to talk. So let's go back. Motivation includes using self-motivation and emotional self-control. An inherent drive to include self-motivation, which I have, because I wouldn't have graduated. I wouldn't have graduated. I wouldn't have graduated. I would not have graduated college with my master's in emotional self-control. An inherent drive to achieve beyond expectations. I like to achieve beyond expectations. And persistent energy to attain, and persistence and energy to attain goals. I have that. Someone strong in this component may exhibit optimism in the face of failure. Basically, a maybe. Maybe it, can happen still. I look for, good. I look for better things to come. They look for better things to come. There should be better things coming. Other than the negative, they look for the positive in things. In the face of failure, commitment to the organization and a strong drive to do better. Empathy includes thoughtful consideration of others. I have that. Feelings, constraints, and needs in order to manage relationships, respect others, emotional makeup, and react accordingly. You definitely have to have consideration of others' feelings, and constraints on different things, of others' constraints, and the needs in order to manage relationships. respect others, emotional makeup, react accordingly. Someone strong in this component might show a great deal of cross-cultural competence, strong customer service skills, and the ability to retain good talent. Social skill is a factor that builds on all the others. The ability to manage relationships by building rapport and finding good common ground with others. I kind of like lack that. That's what I lack. I want to learn. Sometimes it happens where I can build a rapport with others, but it's very rare. I would have to break the ice myself. And with all those people not saying hello to me, I sometimes I break the ice depending on how I feel. Someone with strong social skills might be effective in persuasion, which I am, spearhead change, and building and managing teams. There are at least 12 main competencies that make up EQ: emotional self-awareness, emotional self-control, adaptability, emotional or achievement orientation, positive outlook, empathy, organizational awareness, influence, coaching, mentoring, conflict management, teamwork, and inspirational leadership. Self-awareness is the most fundamental dimension of EQ because you must first know yourself to be able to manage your emotions and subsequently manage relationship with others. Social skills is the highest level of emotional intelligence since it depends on all all of the other dimensions. Yep, social skill is something that is very hard to do, and I have it in me to do, and I've done it before, but can I keep it up, and how do I manage it? I've managed it with my employees that I had before. I used transformational leadership skills and social skills to motivate them to want to continue to work. The impact of EQ on leader-follower relationships. Many studies have examined EQ on the past several decades, providing empirical evidence that it can predict a leader's effectiveness. Emotions are central to the leadership process. Emotions can influence factors such as judgment, memory recall, attributions made about outcomes of events, creativity and reasoning for both leaders and followers, They have been shown to be closely linking how people think, behave, and make decisions. Judgment, you judge people. Memory, recall, you memorize stuff about people. Attributions, you have attributions. Now, let me go back. The actions. So attribution is like an actions made by outcome of events. Creativity and reasoning for both leaders and followers. 5 essential elements of leadership and the role of emotional intelligence. George 2000 summarized research on leadership effectiveness to identify 5 essential elements. For each of these, she outlined how emotional intelligence may play an important role in the leader-follower relationship. Element 1, developing awareness of shared goals, vision, and paths to implementing them. Positive moods enhance creativity. That's what I always try to have. Articulating a compelling vision requires creativity, positive thinking, openness to experience, flexibility, etc. Emotional intelligence allows a leader to imagine future states and improvements for the organization while simultaneously avoiding overconfidence. Emotional intelligence with respect to followers' feelings can help a leader communicate a vision and followers be more receptive to the shared goals. Hi, Pamela. Element 2, helping members of the group understand and appreciate the importance of what they do. A leader is better able to influence followers' emotions and to manage those emotions with the aid of emotional intelligence. Such leaders are able to make followers feel better by presenting information in positive ways. Element 3, fostering and sustaining enthusiasm, confidence, motivation, trust, and cooperation. Emotional intelligence can help a leader identify followers' real emotions and how to influence them. It can foster the anticipation and management of reactions. Leaders high in emotional intelligence are more likely to be able to engender trust and cooperation and to develop strong interpersonal relationship with followers. Element 4 or 5, Encouraging, they got it in Roman numerals. Encouraging flexible approaches to changing decision making. That's weird. Whatever. Leaders can apply awareness with their own feelings and signals to direct attention to the critical and high priority issues. Managing such emotional signals can improve decision making. With knowledge of their emotions, leaders can approach problems with more of flexibility and consider a variety of alternatives. By understanding followers' emotions, this leader can help them feel and see things differently, allowing the leader to make large-scale changes in the organizations with follower collaboration support. That's what I was talking about earlier. In transformational leadership, you must have your follower collaboration, like you, Pamela, and support. You know, like when you get in a workplace, if you're a manager in a workplace and you're talking to your follower, as they call it, or employee, you can call them a follower or employee. It has to be two-way communication on what is lacking, what's the weakness that's going on, what's the strengths going on, and what they think should happen and how you feel, you know, not how you feel, but how they feel. And you take into consideration that, and then you sit up there and you you think about it, you put it on some type of scratch piece of paper, and you go over everything. You already write it down as they talking about it, and you write down the strengths of what'll happen if XYZ happens this way. Then you write down what'll happen if XYZ happens that way. Will the company lose money? Will the company gain money? Will people want to quit? Will people want to stay and have more people on board? You know, those are the questions that need to be answered. How to internalize and apply emotional intelligence to situations. Emotional intelligence calls on abilities that can be complex. Building your emotional intelligence will require a deliberate and persistent effort along with a genuine desire to do so. One of the challenges of managing emotions is remaining open and aware while neither venting nor suppressing your feelings. Your goal must be to reflect on feelings, integrate them into your thinking, and take them as a source of insight and information for good decision making and developing for strong relationships. Here are 4 key emotional skills you can learn in order to apply EQ, along with some basic ways that you can go about internalizing these skills. Identify emotions. Develop awareness of emotions. So aware emotions, which provide information. It's important to be able to read people to maximize the data you have. If you can identify what you and other people are feeling, you can better choose the appropriate response and improve your communication. How? Ask a question and be a deep listener. Learn to paraphrase and make sure you understand how others feel. Use emotions. Allow your emotions to influence and guide your thinking. Because your feelings affect our thinking, we need to match our emotions to the tasks we face. Okay. Because our feelings affect our thinking. If I'm angry, I'm I'm going to be not thinking straight. And the task we face is going to be null and void. I don't see how them managers do it when they be sometimes angry all the time. Explore how your feelings may be affecting your team and your own thinking. Understand emotions. Discover what emotions mean. By reflecting and understanding the situations that may tend to trigger certain emotional reactions in you. Hold on. By reflecting and understanding the situations that may tend to trigger certain emotional reactions in you and others, you can consider what if scenarios to determine if another response is best. Carefully examine what causes specific emotions. Then consider what happens when you feel this way. Manage emotions. Remain open to feelings. Emotions should be integrated with your thinking. Remain open to feelings. Emotions should be integrated with your thinking. This means you should stay open to them. Emotions. Learning to express your emotions is an important part of the process. Pull together what you have learned about your feelings and use that along with logical thought to solve your problems and make decisions. The first step in developing your emotional intelligence is to learn about your own emotions and work with them. Often we don't really know what exactly it is we ourselves are feeling. For example, we think we are angry, but when we stop and reflect, we may discover that our real underlying emotion is sadness and frustration. There may be organizational and societal norms that precludes us from acknowledging deeper feelings such as sadness in the workplace. Being able to access and identify these deeper feelings is a form of emotional agility that enables us to interact better with others. As we become more aware of our own emotions, we become more attuned to the fact that these are also emotions that others around us feel from time to time. I hate when that happens. Being able to access and identify these deeper feelings is a form of emotional agility. As we become more aware of our emotions, we also become in tune to the fact that these are also emotions that others around us feel from time to time. Here are some ways to develop a heightened understanding of your emotions. Label them. Name what you feel: sad, happy, lonely, hopeful, anxious. I felt frustrated earlier. Broaden your vocabulary emotions. Find different words that express your feelings. For example, sad might be expressed as regretful, disappointed, paralyzed, tearful, etc. Gauge at the intensity of your emotion. Angry might be furious, very intense. or might be merely impatient, mild. Rate your emotion on a 1 to 10 scale. Frustration was like a 3. I wasn't even yelling, so it's a 2. Rate your emotion on a 1 to 10 scale. Identify strength and urgency. Does that lead you to describe it with a different word? Write emotions down to express them. Writing emotionally charged experiences has shown to increase physical health, mental well-being, and lead to tangible and positive workplace outcomes. Over time, writing about feelings lead to insights about what they mean, providing you with a new perspective whether or not anyone else ever sees the writing. After you have mastered yourself, then you can expand onto your emotional intelligence to learn to read others' emotions. You can use much of the same process to better understand a colleague or subordinate's feeling. By understanding your followers' feelings, your leadership can be more responsive to their needs and more constructive in dealing with their emotions in the workplace. Because emotions are often hidden in a workplace, learning to identify them requires effort and skill. It is an important source of data that can help you not only get along with them, but also motivate them and help develop meaningful connection that benefits your organization. Expansion of your self-awareness along with practicing self-management can ultimately lead to this ability to motivate others, empathize, and use rapport to find common ground. Research into intentional change and self-direction learning suggests that there are basic steps to follow to accomplish change, like internalizing and applying emotional intelligence to your leadership actions. This is a process of self-reflection focused on specifically your feelings and emotional intelligence. With the following steps, decide on the goal. Let's just say music. Who do you want it to be? Who do you want to be? Let's just say a musician. What kind of leader do you want to be? A good leader. Reflect yourself in the present. Reflect on yourself in the present. Who are you? Reflect on yourself in the present. Who are you? I am. I reflect on yourself in the present. Reflect on yourself in the present. A good person. Where are you with respect to the kind of leader you want to be? You need to read more about it. Okay. Your current level of emotional intelligence. What is your current level of emotional intelligence? I say about a 5.5. What are your current EQ strengths? I will have to go back and look at the EQ. I don't know off the top of my head. So let me go back. Emotional intelligence. I would hate to go back. Let me see. Self-awareness, motivation, empathy, and the weaknesses are what is it? Social skill, like I was saying before, and self-regulation. Those are only two left. Develop a learning agenda. What are the gaps between your strengths and kind of emotionally intelligent leader you want to be? Develop a learning agenda. What are the kind of gaps your strengths and gaps between your strengths and the kind of emotional intelligent leader you want to be? Well, the gaps between my strengths is that these strengths are have consideration of other feelings, and the gaps between them is that you reflect your feelings. You have to put your feelings down and analyze their feelings first without analyzing your own feelings first, because you have to work your emotions off of their feelings in order to have a better understanding of your followers. I want to be the one intelligent leader that makes sure that they have everything remembered to the T so that they can understand not only the paperwork, but the actual real life situations of what it is to be an emotionally intelligent leader. I want to learn from both worlds. Experiment with different feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. Practice with them, with your followers and peers until they become comfortable. Isn't that kind of like messing with their mind? Throughout the above four steps, develop a trusting relationship and support and encouraging progress. Once you decide on your goal, your self-reflecting process should draw on a standardized assessment of a leadership EQ and 360-degree feedback instruments, which include self-assessment as well as gathering anonymous feedback from superiors, peers, and subordinates. Your analysis of the gaps between your current level of EQ and your goals will feed into your learning plan and agenda. Decide on what is most crucial to start out with. Perhaps it is developing greater awareness of your emotions or being more empathetic with your colleagues. As you become more self-aware, you might focus on managing conflict in your team without triggering unproductive emotions from valuable members. As you experiment and practice your EQ, you will need a supported network. A trusted mentor or colleague should be honest with you and be your champion through your developmental process. You may want to enlist help and a coach to keep track and guide your development of EQ, emotional intelligence. Hold up. Six, go back to six. First, let's consider what it means to engage in critical thinking. While the application of critical thinking may vary across disciplines, the steps are universal. Adapted by the writings of Bassam, Irwin, Nardon, and Wallace, critical thinking involves thinking clearly, systematically includes formulating ideas succinctly and precisely, identifying the relevance and importance of ideas. So formulating ideas succinctly and precisely. Identify the relevance and importance of ideas. Understanding the logical connections between ideas. Identifying, constructing, and evaluating arguments, claims, and evidence. Recognizing explicit and implicit assumptions, arguments, and biases. Detecting inconsistencies and common mistakes in reasoning. Formulating clear, defensible ideas and conclusions. Evaluating the pros and the cons decisions. Reflecting on one's own belief, values, and applying ethical decision making. Though it may be true what's going on, oh no. Though it may be true that just going will get you somewhere, that approach is not exactly a recipe for professional success. You might luck out, or you might end up somewhere far from where you want it to be. Why leave it to chance? To achieve professional successes, you must set goals and set goals to work toward. It's likely that as a manager, you will set goals for yourself, and you'll help your direct reports set their own performance goals. If you set goals that exhibit the characteristics described here, you will have a clear path forward. Begin by defining precisely what you want to accomplish. That is, set goals for yourself. You will need to continually evaluate whether you're still heading towards your goals, which means they may be specific and clearly defined. You must also make your goals concrete so it will be clear when you have attained them. Consider these two examples. Become fluent in spreadsheet software. Learn how to create and manipulate multi-cell and multi-tab formulas. Create conditioning or conditional formatting and generate basic data visualizations in spreadsheet software. Will you recognize when you have reached fluency as described in Goal 1? Will you know when you have learned the skills described in Goal 2? Carefully consider the aspect when you create goals. For certain types of goals, it is helpful to express your intended success with some quantifiable way, in some quantifiable way. For instance, if one of your goals is to reduce quarterly expenditures within your department, you will probably want to attach some measurable value to that reduction, a dollar value or a percentage. Goals are measurable as referred to as targets. A major benefit of setting targets is that once you reach the value you initially set, it's fairly simple to adjust the number and create new, more challenging target for yourself. Specifically and measurably are the first two elements of this SMART approach to goal setting, which calls for goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound or timely. Another factor to bear in mind is that you want to orient your goals and outcomes, not activities. What's the difference? An activity and oriented goal focus on some quantity that doesn't represent the meaningful goal. For example, a training department might set a goal to put 60 mid-level managers through sexual harassment training in the next 2 months. That goal meets the criteria of SMART goal, but so what? It doesn't mean the intended outcome is being met. The real intent might be to eliminate sexual harassment complaints or to reduce the number by 70% by a certain date. When the goal is framed this way, we know we can have meaningful, measurable outcome. A meaningful, measurable outcome. Carefully crafting goals that meet the criteria described here is one way to give yourself a clear path to professional success. Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to walk from here? That depends on a good deal on where you want to go, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you walk, said the cat. I hope you figured out where to focus your self-development efforts based on your MLQ results. It's really intended to illuminate the path from where you are to enhance leadership skills. Now, I like you to examine the strategies you will use in your individual development plan. Develop these strategies developing these strategies begins with goal setting, which asks you to look at aspirations in a concrete and attainable way. Consider what you can do to ensure that you stay motivated and able to self-develop throughout the journey towards your goals. As you enhance your leadership skills through self-development, this will empower you as a leader to encourage continuous learning in others. So you'll want to think through strategies for fostering a culture of professional development in addition to your personal development. An effective culture of continuous learning will include practices and policies supporting honesty and integrity in all stages of learning. Your self-development process will also need to adapt to the range of feedback you may receive in the future. How will you use what you learned from your MLQ report to begin that process? How can you apply what you learned from the MLQ beyond yourself to the way you approach continuous learning as a leader? Submit your self-development strategies for feedback. This assignment will be included as a component of the individual development plan. Your graded submission at the end of the project This assignment will be included as a component of the individual development plan. Your graded submission at the end of the project. Okay. I'll make the skeleton of it and then do it tomorrow because I'm already ahead of the game. Living around the world and I came for my baby. I don't know where, I don't know why he's gonna date me. I don't know where he can be. Oh man, that's not the one I want. There it is. And ain't too much crying, wasting too much time. What is this? First. Due date. It's the next week, so 13th. Okay. Okay. I'm going to when I log back in, go here, critical thinking. Is it there? No, go to here. Shows your strengths and weaknesses. This would be able to help me fill out the form. Okay, y'all. So, I filled out I filled out. I sat up there and read my homework. I was doing a reading for my homework, and I will be doing the official homework. The homework was reading, and now to do the official typing of the segment of the paperwork, homework, typing the paperwork of the homework. And I will be doing that. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place. But I'm not going to talk y'all head off for a long time. You know, what time is it? 1. My eyes are so blurry, and then when it gets dark, it gets really blurry. An hour and 20 minutes for 16 seconds. So, yeah. But, thank you for rocking with me the whole time. I appreciate you guys. Like, I really do. And, I will see you guys tomorrow. Seriously. Same bat time, same bat place. Thank you guys for being there, watching me. And like I said to the employers that are watching me on LinkedIn, you know, I already got my degree in management, business management, master's, and I learned a lot from there. You know, that's where I learned about transactional and transformational, but I'm learning a lot more about it in this school too, you know. So when the more you stay in school, the more you learn, you know. Some people do it one swap, one wop, one shot, one kill. And I am refreshing and learning things new. So, yeah. But like I said, I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Have that faith in me and let me prove it to you. Thank you, everybody. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Never waste my time, you all I want.